Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're discussing a fire screen which we recently finished this year. This place actually been in work for quite a few years, several design changes over time, and initially it's supposed to be two separate doors which would be held up on these hinges which are sunk into the brick. However, the amount of torque which would place on the brick as well as visual blockage of the fire plans were changed, and so now we have a single door which allows for a nice clear view of the fire. No metal obstructing. We have a single hinge here, but we have a cosmetic hinge or a false hinge down here just for aesthetics. It is an angle iron superstructure with a plate steel front up here, and then all of that is held in support with these bars here bolted in place, and then of course what was going to be the hinges of the doors used as an anchor point. We have stainless steel screen, which has been painted black in the front. Everything is with fire grade or high temperature paint. We have some cosmetic effects, scrolls and cross on that. This is actually forge welded, and of course rivets pinning everything in place. One of the issues we've got with the fireplace is it's a modern home, so it's extremely airtight for R value and insulation and whatnot. But fireplaces have to work with airflow, so you generally have to have some sort of leaking air in order to actually get things to go up the chimney properly. So for this house, they have to open up a window in order to get enough positive air in order to get the smoke up the chimney. But along with that, we have issues of smoke wisping out here. So this has been caulked in with high temperature caulk. And then the plate here is actually designed to hold smoke long enough for it to roll on up the chimney. So it's a little bit different. Every time they change one thing with home design, you have to rethink everything else from there. But to show you inside here, we've got the angle iron superstructure. There we are. And of course, regular brick fireplace. And then we've got the actual andirons right there. This is heavy, 1 by 3/8, hot riveted, and then also welded for extra support. And a fairly small screen in order to try to keep the coals from falling through as long as possible. The door, we've got, these are homemade hinges, so these were not off the shelf, these are actually forged in place. And then the screen is held in place by the flat iron here, which is riveted, but then also tack welded to keep everything in place. Notice the screen is not painted back here, it's only painted from the front. The purpose of that is if you have, it's stainless steel screen, so if it's shiny it actually blocks the visibility of what's behind there. You paint it black, and then everything kind of disappears in. You actually see further into it. We're currently using this fire poker here, which I did not make. It's actually an antique we found many years ago. Beautiful piece. We've got a showing off collar weld here. We've got a forge weld down in here. And then what would have been 4 different twists, just perfectly symmetrical. Beautiful piece made by I have no idea who. What we've got in here is not completely done, but the bolts on the structure here go all the way through. There we go. And we have plans to make a crane which will bolt in there off to the side and then swing out for cooking. So there's the intention to actually use this for cooking, which is where this guy comes in. So it's a temporary thing basically for pots and pans until we get the crane established. And then the next section of the video will show that in use. And here we are using the fireplace. We've got some hash browns cooking. So we've got our skillet right there. We've got our little tripod, granted it's got 4 legs, holding everything up over the fire. There's some bacon here going in just a little bit. We'll eventually have the crane which will swing out from the side over here, but that's not been installed yet.